Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome back to the Jeffries network on OpenTTD. Now we start here at GSG, and you can see already I have planned out some lines. I'll come back to that in a second, to what exactly this will entail. First of all, I just have some housekeeping to do, some requests that people have made, and also just some general corrections from previous episodes. So let's start with pronunciations, shall we? Just going through my phone, apologies. Ben Desrochaux. Desrochaux. Sure. Desrochaux. I'm reading the way you've pronounced it on the comments for me here. That's how you pronounce his name anyway. So it was his idea originally to move the train storage building over in the tri-junction. So I did that, and I've got some trains running from it now, and it's working really nice. So thank you very much, Ben, for that suggestion. And now I know how to pronounce your name as well. Second of all, the YouTube hating community strikes back. Bit of an odd name, if I'm honest. To be honest, when I first saw you commented on my videos, I wasn't quite sure whether I was being trolled or not. But it doesn't seem to be that I am, so I'll go along with it for now. Could the trains going from St George be different from the other ones, so it looks like two separate companies? Yes. At the moment, we've got the BR Blue trains going from these platforms still. That's because it links up at Dartbourne. Wow, bit of lag there. It's because it links up with at Dartbourne with the other line. So for now, I've got the same type of train. In the future, in fact, from this episode onwards, actually, never mind in the future, we will have different liveried trains running on the line. Then we got Reedy Reed, who says tube trains actually run at 40 to 50 miles per hour in London. I have commented a reply to this, but I'll say it for everybody else who didn't read the comments. Yes, you are right in that Victoria Line trains go 50 miles per hour as their maximum speed in the tunnels, because the gaps between stations are much greater, and also they've got the hump design stations, so the trains can slow down a lot faster as well as they approach the station. So that is true. And in the country sections of the Metropolitan line, as literally reading word for word from my reply right now, they can also reach 60 miles per hour. So that's going up to, is it Ameecher? I think is the northernmost point. They do reach that speed indeed. But on the other lines, especially on, I think it's the Piccadilly, the Northern and the Jubilee, maybe even the Bakerloo, the deep surface trains, they don't actually go that fast. It feels fast because it's a very uncomfortable ride. If you ever stand on one of those trains, it feels like you're going a million miles an hour and you're going to get shoved through the window at any moment. But you're actually going between 20 and 40. I would say, I think the maximum speed on the Circle line going around the corners is 25 miles per hour. I believe it has something to do with, I could be completely wrong here, I am literally guessing, but I think it's something to do with the Light Railways Act. And that's why 25 miles per hour is the maximum speed for Preserved Railways. Sorry, I've got my fan switched on as well. Let me switch that off because I can hear it through my headset. 25 miles per hour is the maximum speed on Preserved Railways unless they have a specific order that allows them to go faster. So I think that might be part of it. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. And then finally, BNSF and SP. Would it be possible to make the line to Wardinghatton Third Rail Electric using EMUs with JBs? I'm not quite sure what you mean by JBs, but with JBs extending service over non-electrified track in one direction while extending the electric line in another. Perhaps even adding a non-electrified line to Wardinghatton from the north. Now, as I say, I'm not quite sure what you mean by JBs. I haven't had that much time to think about it though, so I might be able to work it out even whilst I'm recording this. But look at the red line. It goes pretty much in a straight line, but it eventually ends up down here at Wardinghatton, which I had to spend a very long time looking for, because it's been so long since I built something over at Wardinghatton, I forgot what it looked like. In fact, I forgot where it was, never mind what it looked like. But yeah, you're right, I left this spur line here. So I did some looking, and I did some prepping, and a new terminus will be built in Guard City, which is what this red line is for, and it would be built around this area. This could even actually be the gateway to the big central station that I was talking about, which might actually end up being over here, and then it will connect over to St George via some through platforms here, and maybe we'll have a link somehow over to St John, or at least the line out of St John. These trains really like getting caught up one behind the other, don't they? Anyway, today, yes, talking about electricity. We're going to be building some electrified lines out of Guard City St George. And I've got a list of things that I want to get done this week. There's 4 things on the list. I don't think I'll get 2 of them done, but the other 2 definitely. Electrified lines out of GSG, that's going to happen today. The new lines are going to be electrified. The existing line that you can see on the screen, that's going to remain diesel. The Warding Hatton third rail electrification, that may or may not happen this week. It depends very much on how long this GSG project takes. Non-electrified line to north of Warding Hatton, again, that very much ties in with the previous one. It depends how much time I have left over. And an electric train storage facility north of GSG. Well, that's kind of obvious. I need a storage facility if I'm actually going to have trains running in and out of GSG. So that will be happening this week as well. One final thing. I've been requested by ReadyRead to... I mean, I said I would send a list of the metro stations, but I'm going to read them out slowly now as well, in case you are watching and you want to write them down. Just in case I can't get the list to you between recording this and it being broadcast. So, we start up at the southern end here at Slinningley. That's Slinningley. In fact, spelling isn't really that important right now because that's something that could be corrected after. Then we've got Dainingstone as the next stop. Then Brint Hill Central, which you can put a connection to Brint Hill on the River Line if you wish. They're not actually connected, but it's like a walking distance connection. I think it's like Bank and Monument in London. They have like a kind of connecting line between them, even though they are 2 separate stations. Then we've got Prondinghall. And then it goes underneath the Eastern Speed Rail route to Guard City St John. And then it travels through here to Tindhead. Then Ginpool Bridge. Sardston Bay. Guard City St George. Trutway. New Dardingbury. Flarningston. Hendhead Cross. And Sletbridge. They are the stations on the route. Also, it's a private request, but again I'm going to say it out loud, because you want the tram stops as well, don't you? So, if I ask you very quickly, ReadyRead, if you are watching, to change the tram route's name to T1, because there will be more tram routes being added this week as well, I'm sure. So, T1 for the tram route here, and M1 for the metro route here. Just so that there's a distinguishability between them once the other routes come in. But the tram route is Guard City St John, Guard City Central, Guard City, Braston South, Braston Central, Padinghead, Reddingworth Falls Central, Reddingworth Falls, and then Guard City St George. That's T1. So that's the final little bit of housekeeping. And we're 8 minutes in. So let's actually get some building done, shall we? You can see here we are making money. Profit, it's not massive, but it's good. Considering what it could be, it's good. So let's electrify some platforms, shall we? Now I'm going to use this as an opportunity to control the flow of electrified trains. So this section here is all going to be electrified. And in fact, this section here is probably going to end up being third rail. Thinking about it, I was about to say it's going to be electrified also, but it probably won't be. It might be dual, actually. I might do it as dual. I'm going to electrify it for now. But the storage facility is going to be built up here on the hill. It's going to be a big storage facility. It's going to be bigger than the one that we've got in the Tri-Junction. And I think it will only have trains going in and out of St George connected to it. So it won't have any connections to any of the other lines. Just for clarity's sake, more than anything. But we're going to start building this main line. And already, I'm starting to think of a dilemma in my head. And it's to do with these junctions. And it's also to do with high speed and low speed. What's going to be the difference between them? My dilemma is as follows. So we've got this set up like this. And you know, we've got all these little link lines, and everything's nice, and everything's pretty, and everything's perfect. That's fine. However, I want the express lines to go into certain platforms, these big platforms here. The slow trains I would rather have go into a separate facility over here. So I'm actually going to build the platforms for the slow services now, so that I don't forget to do it at a later date. What that means is there's going to have to be a big junction, and this will tie in with the setup that we're going to have for the storage depot as well. But it means there's going to have to be a big junction. That's my phone. Apologies for that. It's going to have to be a big junction over. Where's the one? That's the one I'm looking for, I think. No. That's probably the one I'm looking for. It's going to have to be a big junction outside the station. Got there in the end. Where slow lines cross over fast lines, etc., etc. And there's going to be, at the moment, there's going to be 2 main lines coming out of GSG. Today we're going to be focusing on section 1 of the first line, which is the one that goes off this way to the right. But we do need to get these trains in and out of this section still, and in fact I'm going to remove all of this section of station here so I can fit in the waypoints that are going to be going up in a second. So as you can see, this is going to be a massive station now, GSG, and these tracks here are going to be through tracks into the city, through the city and out the other side. But they're also going to be terminus tracks for the slow trains, because some slow trains will carry on through. The express trains will stop, and it's going to be very messy once it's finished, I'm sure. But I just want to make sure that all of these junctions are built to correct standard, which is the standard that I am setting for myself, which may or may not fit in with what you guys want this to look like. But I'm going to build like flat junctions for some of this, and then I'm going to build grade separated junctions for the rest of it. So I think that the best way of doing it is to start with a jig. For those of you who don't know what a jig is the way I've used jigs in the past, a jig is a wooden board with nails in at set points that you use as a guide. Whoops. That you use as a guide when building things, basically. So if you're putting together, I don't know. Let's say if you're putting together a car. So if you ever watched a show where they show you how cars are made, you'll see in a factory there's a special device that the body of the car is attached to, and they take the car. Right, hang on. I'm going to stop building so I can explain this properly. Once I've gotten rid of these pieces of track here. So they'll have the body of the car on a frame, and there'll be set points along the frame where different components will fit. That is the essential definition of what a jig is. A jig is the frame that the car body goes on, so you know where the door goes, you know where the bonnet goes, you know where the engine goes, all of that stuff. And it's always the same, whatever, each time you use it, it's always the same. So everything will go in the same place every single time. That's why a jig is invented, so that you don't mess up when you're doing that. That's probably a really bad example anyway, but oh well, I've done it now. So I want to set myself up a jig for these slow lines, because the fast lines are going to be all of these electrified ones here up to this one. So the last crossover point here is the last express track. These ones down here are all local trains or stopping trains. So I'm now going to put a series of crossovers, like so, at random lengths, to make sure that all of these trains that are meant to be in and out can get in and out of the station. At this point, I'm not too bothered about grade separation, because they're all going the same speed, in the same place. I'm going to be really lazy and put a single one right across there. They're all going at the same speed in the same place, so it's not really that important if they're sort of separated by grade or not. So all of this is going to be done like this. I feel like I can fit one more in like that. Okay, so that's that bit done. You can see there will be 2 terminus platforms here. They will be used by something, not entirely sure what yet, but it'll be something. Right, so we now have to get 2 slow lines from these ones to connect up over here with these express ones. But we also need to get the express ones that will end up going this way, plus the ones that will go in and out of the storage depot, which I should probably prepare the site for now. And I don't think we're actually going to get all that much overall building done today now in terms of the line. I think the majority of it will be spent in doing this. And I apologise for that. I know it's not the most ideal start to the week, let's say, but it's crucial that I get this right first time. I'm just looking to see how many tracks I've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wow, that's 5. Okay. I thought that was 6 for some reason. Alright, yeah, that makes sense. That works out for me. And then these ones, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So let's say that these 2 go off to the depot. These 2 will go off this way. And these 2 will come down this way. So let's have this lot. These 2 lines go under like this. Like that. And then this line will come up and over it. Like so. This line will do the same. Like that. And then these 2 lines will turn, whoops. These 2 lines will turn this way to connect up with these 2 lines. With another bridge here for, hang on, let's flatten this. Already I feel like this isn't going the way I want it to. So that'll go like that. These will come under like this. You will connect there and there. Okay, so far though that works. And then these will come over. And there you have a 4-track main line, which will go off and do its thing. So let's say, so far, this does work. So that's all good. That's good. Then if we say that this one and this one will also go up and over here, like that and like that, and then they'll come over to join up with these 2. So let's say this comes across to there. This one comes across to there. This one will go like that and like that. And these go up to the storage depot. That work? I mean, like that, yeah. That would work like that. But am I happy with it? I don't know. I don't know. And then these 2 would come down like this and connect up like this. And then this extra track here will have as a storage for trains that then turn around and go back down through the city itself. I mean, in theory that works absolutely perfectly. Practically, it probably will work absolutely perfectly as well. Just got to make sure all these signals are on the right spots. There we go. And then this one will go here. We'll put the platform in soon. This line here technically only has to connect to these 5 platforms, but I've included the excess crossovers as well. Alright, so this junction looks busy. And it is busy, to be fair. It is very busy. But hopefully it will work itself out. In fact, there's extra junctions that I could be putting in here as well, which would make it even busier. And I've put that in the wrong spot. Let's try that again. So we'll put that one there. That one will go there, and then all those go across. Perfect. And then we'll just have one that does that, because I'm lazy. Like that. Okay. So far, so good. And then up here, we'll have Big Depot. So let's build Big Depot. Now the way I want this one to work is flatten this out as much as possible. Like that. All of these lines climb up the hill. This is the one that I'm not so keen on, so let's take that back a little bit. Flatten this section out as well, like that. There we go. You go there, you go there, you go there, and you go there. Like that. Okay. So far, so good. This will then come all the way across like this. This one will come all the way across as far as here. And then we'll have lines coming across like this. Like that. And more come like this. Like that. Okay. And then you'll go there, you'll go there. Like that. And then these ones will go here. Like that. Again, so far so good. Except I have to put this one in 2. And this one in 2. Like so. And then all of these. So actually I'm going to take that one and that one out. But no, I have to put that in. Okay. And then I'm going to put another crossover just there to make sure that one works. Alright, so again, not bad. Now I'm going to put the express ones in. And I'm going to go with the straightforward fixtures. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to be 5 by 7. I'd say that would be the maximum length for the express trains, 5 by 7. And then 5 by 6 for the locals, but I'm only going to do 4 platforms. I'm not going to have a platform on the bottom. I've got to be really careful how I do this. Let's try that to start with, okay? And then here we're going to have another track. Alright, I think I've fixed it in my head. Right, so that's going to come like this. That's going to come like this, which means this one is going to look like that. And this one isn't going to exist. Okay. And then this is going to come along like this, where it will exist, like so. And then here we're going to have a track that's going to go all the way along like this, and then along like this, and then like that, and that's rubbish. Let's just have a long one there. Meanwhile, this one is going to go like that, and then like that, and then like that. There should be all them connected up. Like so, and these are going to come across like this. I'm a bit worried now whether I've done this right or not. The other thing I want to do is get rid of this track here. And take out this signal here. Which does mean this, this, and this don't have to be connected up. Okay. As I say, I'm a little bit concerned as to whether I'm doing this right or not. We'll find out in a second. So you're now going to be a separate facility. I'll tell you what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build 2 separate stations for the slow lines. Just because I don't know, I feel like that would be a smarter thing to do. But I am looking at the amount of earthworks that it's requiring, and I am seriously debating as to whether I'm doing the right thing or not. And to be honest, I'm not 100% certain that I am. So we're going to cull all of that. We're going to replace this as 5-track. I'm going to stick you there. I'm going to stick this there. Yeah, I wasn't sure, guys. I don't want to get it wrong. That's the last thing I want to do, is get it wrong. Because that's a very expensive mistake, and it's one you can only make once. Alright, so we're going to have to do this. Like so. And then here we're going to have this one go in like that. This one go in like this. Right. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is going to be Plonston Train Facility. You are 7 long. This is going to be Latston Train Storage. You are 6 long. And he said 5 then, but you're not 5 at all, are you? You're 6. Okay, now I've got to put these signals in. I'm going to leave this spur bit here just to remind me of that possibility in case I do change my mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course you were in the middle of the bridge, so we're going to put you there instead. Like that. Just make sure that you're all looking good. Looks like you are. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. And again, just make sure you're all looking good. Yep, okay. So this is incredibly messy, but it will tidy itself up in the future. I promise you. How long have we been going for? 27 minutes. So actually, as much as I hate to say it, this episode is almost done. One more thing really that I want to do. I want to build this little one down here. And is there a buffer stop one? There is. Good. Perfect. Look at that. So this will be GSG turn back. You are 6 long. So that's the trains that terminate here from the city. They'll come into the turnback siding. They'll wait for however long, and then they'll head out again. These platforms need to be extended actually to accommodate that. The fact that these are 6 long. So island platforms, there we go. Let's pop you there, and then we'll go to single-sided, and we'll pop you there, and then and then all of these signals in like so. And it'll go down to 2 tracks for this section, so that'll be 1, and we'll put another one there, which means this will have to come up. Big bridge going across the bay here. Actually, that doesn't need to be that long at all. What am I doing? That'll be one input, that'll be the other. We'll do that, and then this just has to come across like that. And we'll do this one just like that, I suppose. And that'll be that input. Alright then, guys. So that just about does it for this episode. I know it's been a bit hit and miss. Not really a great deal of exciting stuff happening. I apologise for that. But next time, we're going to escalate things, because we're going to start building this electrified route. I'm going to have a quick look at the possibility of making this one bigger. What I could do is maybe drop it down a level or raise it up a level. This hill doesn't help, unfortunately. But I'm sure I'll think of something. I want to get this as good as possible. I also want to have a quick look, actually, in this episode as to what trains I could get running. Just pause you. I want to hide some of these. So I want to hide you. I want to hide all of these, really. For now. The old Shinkansens. So we've got like the Voyager as a potential high-speed train, even though it is diesel, but it goes 125 miles per hour. Got the Pendolino, which goes 140, which is definitely a viable candidate. The Electra Stars. We've got the ABB Class 325s, which is good for carrying goods or mail. Mail is what I'm going to be using it for. The BREL Class 321, again, goes 100 miles per hour. And then we've got this one, the BREL Class 313 Electric, which goes 75 miles per hour. But if I was to build this new station over here and then had the third rail line that comes down this way, that's what it will be for. It will convert, just like Thameslink trains do. At Farringdon, I believe, is where they do it now. It sort of changes depending on what's going on at the time. It's a bit confusing. I never quite got my head around it personally. But that'll do for this episode, guys. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you guys for your continued support. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you're enjoying the series. Drop some comments down below for ideas for future episodes, including how I can sort of tidy this up a little bit more and maybe make this storage facility a little bit more appealing. And yeah, until tomorrow, I will see you soon.